Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, man. It's back again with another video. First of all, thank you for 445 subscribers so far. Please continue to subscribe to support the channel. I need that so that the channel can become a bit more viable and this will just not be a hobby. So I recently got my hands on the Panasonic S1R2. Wow, that's a mouthful actually. So I recently got my hands on the Panasonic S1R2 files, 4 files actually. It's from Chris Turner Photography on YouTube. Please go subscribe to the guy. It's already on 50,000 subscribers. But it's always good to show some love to creators that make some of these files available. At the end of the day, what we really want to do is literally just get the file and, work on them, see how good they are or how much you can push and pull in those senses. First of all, the files are really big. But what really I found funny is that the files are not as big as, in terms of size at least, they're not as big as my Fujifilm file. So, which is strange. They are 50 megapixel files, but they are like 50. I don't know if it did them compressed or what, but what I've seen is that they are not really huge in terms of size. So it's like 50 megapixel. So if I go, for example, into like my own Fujifilm files, cool. So these are some of the photos that I've taken with my Fujifilm. So this was with the XT2. And you can see these are like 48 megapixel, and this is a 24 megapixel file. So if I go back to Chris Turner here, photos, and this is a Lumix file, and these are some of the first Lumix file that I have used, and I was really surprised. So this is 20. So this is 50 mega. This is a 40 what megapixel. This is 45 megapixel camera, and the Fujifilm photos are 24 megapixel photos. So already in terms of size, that's one thing that I've noticed. And if I have to push them, for example, okay, cool, I'll copy this one. One thing that I've noticed is also the dynamic range. That one thing that I really I wanted to see if I'm able to sort of match. I wanted to see if I'm sort of able to match these files with a Fuji file. We'll take maybe similar photos. I'm going to open them on for camera raw, so that you guys are able to see what I'm talking about. So obviously this photo were worked on already. I am just going to reset it to as it was shot. So I think they were shot like this. So one thing I do like about Fujifilm is the dynamic range latitude that you have. And one thing I liked about this one is just the colors straight out of camera. So obviously they were shot reset to open or reset to default. They were shot like this already. So now that I actually recalibrated my screen as well, now that I'm looking at them, they look really good. So reset to default. And I think, so I'm just going to do that. Obviously, we can't really compare the two, but yeah, I think I really could do like the Panasonic files a little better. I don't know if it's depth of field or anything. It's just something about the colors that I really like a lot here. You can see I'm adding as much contrast as possible, and the color just looks like they're popping much better. So the dynamic range is obviously there. So we bring the white, can bring it down here, and the shadow. Let's just look at the shadow. That's probably a good definition of dynamic range. Let's see how much grain we have, and not too bad. I'll just go back to the auto file. I like this, especially when you add a bit more contrast. Looks really good. So maybe that's not a nice photo. That doesn't make a lot of justice to my Canon file. I wish I could have something, my Fuji file. I wish I could have something similar to what I got there for the, but it's really hard, as you guys know, to replicate the same thing. But I like what I'm seeing there in terms of what the Panasonic S1 is giving. I've never touched any of this file. I've never played with any of Panasonic files, but I really enjoy, to say the least, I really enjoy what I see from this file. This is my first time playing around with Panasonic file, especially the raw files, and I really liked it a lot. So it's good. To be honest, it is really good. So yes, that's pretty much it for this video. I'm not going to make it very long because obviously it will be kind of an unfair comparison. I have some Fuji files better Fuji cameras that came out, 40 megapixel Fujifilm cameras. I didn't want to test it against that because I don't use those much. But one thing I can tell you, there's something about newer files compared to like older technology that I am really, really loving as well, especially in terms of the look that they give you. They look super modern. I don't know if you can really put your finger on something like that, but they just look a little bit vibrant in terms of color. They look very clinical and very sharp though, which is something that's very good, especially for when you're doing food photography and stuff like that. The older files have a bit more characters and something that, as I say, you can't really put your finger on it, but it makes just a lot of sense if you're a photographer. So should you upgrade to like a better camera? Because well, image quality, quote unquote, those photos are kind of better in terms of dynamic range or anything. But so far, I'm very happy with my Fuji, especially. But one thing that I can maybe mention is I have the X-T1 here, and I feel like this camera is probably slept on because the colors that I get from this camera sort of feels newer than any of the other Fujis that I've had so far. And especially when I do an event, I go back to this camera photos a lot, which is strange, but I go back to this camera photo a lot and I enjoy editing them because sometimes I don't even know to bring them in Photoshop. Lightroom is more than enough for what I do with this file. That's pretty much it for this video. So it was good to have this test file. I'm also going to put some Fuji files, X-T2 and X-T maybe 1 and maybe X-T4, X-T50 so that you guys can play around with them and just see how they look and work with them. I'll see you guys in the next video and then peace out.